Okay, and welcome to this second video on factoring trinomials. So in this video, we will look at how to factor trinomials when a is not equal to 1. So, excuse me. So if you remember what a was, a, so when you write a trinomial ax squared plus bx plus c, a is this number right there. So what we're saying is we're talking about factoring trinomials when that number a is not 1. Now if a equals 1, we looked at that before, and it was pretty easy to do. So let's again start at multiplication and then work our way backwards to factoring. So here we go. So what if you were to multiply 2x plus 5 with x plus 10? Let's do this with the table. So we have 2x and we have plus 5 and we have x and we have plus 10, and we set up our little table to multiply like so. And I'll do this fast and then I'll do it slowly and then we'll work our way backwards, right? So multiplying. So if we did it fast, normal speed, x times 2x would, so 2x times x would give me 2x squared. So let me took off more than I need. 2x squared, and then x times 5 would give me 5x, and 10 times 2x would give me 20x, and 10 times 5 would give me 50, and then I would add everything up and get myself 2x squared, and then these two would add up to give me 25x plus 50. And so this is multiplication. Now factoring works in reverse. So to factor, we would have to go backwards. So if imagine now we had the problem that said factor, and we were given 2x squared plus 25x plus 50. Now we already know the answer to this because over here we see it. But what if we didn't know the answer, right? What if we didn't know the answer? So the method I'm about to talk about is called the trial and error method. Trial and error method. Okay, there are two techniques. One is the trial and error method, and the second one is the AC method. And we will talk about both of these, and you're free to use either of them. And there are times when the AC method is easy, and there are times the trial and error method is easy. It doesn't matter which you use. Okay, so let's talk about the trial and error method. Now, to understand the trial and error method, we have to sort of slow down our multiplication process. So if you go back to the problem and to look at this problem of multiplying, and we slow it down, so we do the box again, 2x plus 5, and actually we use two colors as well, and then on this side I put x plus 10 in blue and we sort of show track how all these numbers go, right? So in this first place we have a 2x and this x to give us our 2x squared. In the second place we have a 5 and this x to give us our 5x. And in this third place we have our 10 and our 2x to give us 20x. And in this fourth spot right there we have our 5 and our 10 to give us our 50. Okay? So this is the whole process slowed down. So imagine now that we didn't have this answer. Imagine now we didn't have this answer and we were staring at 2x squared plus 25x plus 50. And we're trying now to figure out the that and that. Okay? And so in a sense what we have is the meat of the table, and what we don't have are the sides of the table. Now, if you look at the 2x squared, so let me write 2x squared here. that only comes from this box right here. And that comes by multiplying this with this. And if you think about 2x squared, right, this 2x squared, you don't really have many choices as to what could go here and what could go here. It has to be, one of them has to be 2x, and the other one has to be x. No choice. So we sort of have part of the answer. We sort of have the two pieces of the answer. But what we're missing are the other two. Now focus on the 50. Now this is where things get tricky. Now focus on the 50. Now if you think about 50, we know that you must have 50 here. Now the 50 comes from this over here and that over here. Let me highlight them. Oh, didn't put red. Erase that and highlight. 50 comes from multiplying those two. Now here's the problem with this method. This is the error part. There are choices of getting 50, right? Since we don't know what the answer is, 50 could have been 1 and 50, 2 and 25, 5 and 10. Now 5 and 10 we know is the right answer, but we don't know that if we didn't have the right answer given to us. So we had to try these, and this is the trial part. So what if I were to put a 1 here and a 50 there? Now you can eliminate a lot of these answers pretty quickly. So 1 and 50 will certainly give you the 50. But putting a 50 there gets you 50 here and gets you 2x here. Now there is no way these two will add to give me 25, because remember, the 25 comes from adding this with that, and that's really important to keep in mind, that the 25 comes from adding this with this. So now look to the 25 and ask yourself, is there any way I can get 25 if I put a 50 there and a 2 there? And the answer is clearly no. Now most people, once we've done this a few times, realize that there's no way 50 and 2 are going to give you the answer, and so they will pretty quickly eliminate the 50, right? They'll pretty quickly eliminate the 50 and the 1. How about the 2 and the 25? Well, what if I put the 25 here and the 2 here? Again, I get my 50, which is good, which is what I want. But 25 times 2 gives me 50 right there, and I can throw that away because there's no way, no matter what I, no matter what this works out to be, these two are not going to combine to give me 25. Right? So we could immediately throw away the 2 and the 25 as well. So this process works fast once you get the hang of it. So we've dismissed that. Now let's try the 5 and the 10. So let me put the 5 here and the 10 there. Now certainly 5 times 10 gives me 50, so that works. But does it add to be 25? Let's see. X times 10 is 10x, and 5 times 2 is also 10x. And now you see that 10x plus 10x doesn't add to be 25, it only adds to be 20. So that's not it. So one of the things that you have to try when you're doing this trial and error method is you realize that you don't even know whether the 5 goes here or the 10 goes here. So we just tried 10 there and 5 here, so let's try 10 here and 5 there. So 5 times x would give me 5x, 2 times 10 would give me 20, and I see that these two now add to be 25, so I have my factors. So that works out to be 2x plus 5 and x plus 10. So it's called trial and error because you have to try these different combinations and see which ones work. But you start by nailing down one of the corners that doesn't have a choice, and then you work with the other corner in order to facilitate the middle to work out. Okay, so let's do another example of this, and we'll do in follow-up videos. Actually, I'll do a few more examples in the next video because I don't want these videos to get too long, as you know.